Hello dear children, welcome back. We have completed 2 lessons. Now let's start the first poetry, My Mother at 66. Dear children, My Mother at 66 was written by Kamala. She was born in 1934 in Malabar, Kerala. She is recognized as one of the India's foremost poets. Her works are known for their originality, versatility, and the indigenous flavor of the soil. Kamala was famous for her Malayalam works also. In Malayalam, she was writing with the pen name Madhavi Kutti. And in Malayalam, her famous works are Balyakala Smarankal that she has written, and another one is Ente Katha. This Ente Katha she has written in 1973 and it was written in English with the name My Story in 1976. And in English, her famous novel was Alphabet of Lust, and Padmavati, the Harlot, and the other story that she has written in 1992. Dear children, My Mother at 66 was about the aging. And aging is a natural process. We know this, that the parents, grandparents lives in our house in our family that needs too much care. And Kamala Das was known about the ground touch, indigenous flavor of the soil, and that's what we will read in this story. One more thing we must know about Kamala Das, that Kamala Das was famous, or you can say she was known for confessional stories. She was similar to the English poet Sylvia Plath. Sylvia Plath, my dear children, you know that in 10th class you have read Mirror. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me, doze, open mouth, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought away and looked out at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. But after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, wan, pale as a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. But all I said was, "See you soon, Amma." All I did was smile and smile and smile. Dear children, Kamala Das was going to Cochin last Friday when she has written this poetry. That time she mentioned this, the day that was Friday, and that time she saw her mother. Dear children, My Mother at 66 is a touching poem that laments separation. An adult daughter for the first time accepts that her mother is no more young. She is turning old. Let's see the first line. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning. What line says? The reality of life that they separate after long staying together. Mother and daughter were together for a long time, but now they are separating. Kamala Das describes the image of her mother. She is describing this image. I saw my mother beside me, doze, open mouth, her face ashen like that of a corpse. The mother was sitting next to the poetess in the car. They were going by a car, and the mother was sitting just next to the door, next to the author, next to the poetess. She was taking short sleep, and her mouth was open as she was told. Her mouth was like open, and she was taking short sleep. Dear children, here the one line, that the line is underlined here, that her face ashen like that of a corpse. Her face, here one figure of speech is used. Which figure of speech? Simile. Simile is used to compare. What is simile actually? Simile is used to compare one thing with another thing of a different kind. Used to make a description more emphatic. For example, A is brave as a lion. So the mother is compared in this poem. The mother is compared with a dead body because her color was dull and expressionless like a dead body. She realized with pain. The next line is she realized with pain. And she realized this pain. In this long journey, she could not see what she saw during this separation. In this long journey, she could not see what she was during this separation. It means that when they were together, she could not see that mother was turning old. Separation is not joyful, it gives pain. Separation is not joyful. Separation does not give joy to anybody. It gives pain. Next line is that she was as old as. She realized that her mother turned old. As old as she looked, but soon put that thought away and looked out. She looked out to divert her mind. She looked outside so that she can forget the aging of her mother. She looked out, but soon put that thought away. Soon put that thought away. It means the thinking that the thought was in her mind that mother was turning old. To keep that thought away from her mind, she started looking outside and looked out at young trees sprinting. Young trees sprinting. Again, another figure of speech is used here, and that is personification. Personification, dear children, what is personification? Personification means when any non-living thing, the pen, duster, chalk, camera, mobile, when any non-living thing is animated or acts like human, as it is speaking, it is walking, we call it personification. For example, this microphone.
Hello, Mr. Mukesh.
Then it acts like human, it behaves like human. So in this line, trees are running like human. Next line, the merry children spilling out of their homes. Spilling means what? When something is tied with a peg and suddenly thrown out, when it runs to a, that is spilling. So the merry children spilling out of their homes, it shows that how time passes and we cannot understand as she herself was single and became mother later. It is her own image. She was single and she herself became a mother now. Here metaphor is used. So metaphor, another new figure of speech is used here. Metaphor is used when a comparison is given with another thing or person. Same as, simile what is used earlier to make comparison. Again, metaphor is used here, but the comparison is done without using the word as or like. In simile, we use word as and like, but in metaphor, we do not use as and like. In this line, poet describe another stage of life where children show the spontaneous flow of life with full of energy. They represent another phase of life, of power, strength, and carefree life. How time changes, youth passes quickly. It shows that youth quickly pass. Youth never stop for long time, but it pass. The next line. But after the airport's security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her. The proceedings in an airport, you have seen, most of you have visited airport. So during the airport, there is a proceedings of security check, and then you enter. But persons who came to drop you there, they cannot enter. So same, mother of Kamala Das looked outside. When they reached at the airport, the time of final departure, when the time came for the final departure after security check, the poet looked again at her mother. I looked again at her, vain, pale, as a late winter's moon. The poet used figure of speech, simile. It is used to compare the mother with the late winter's moon. The late winter's moon looks beautiful, and the ending of winter signify end of the year. Same, the mother was also old and living in the last phase. In her last phase, that was described by the mother. That's why the comparison was made with the late winter's moon. And felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. Here the poem touches. The another line is, and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. Here the poem touches upon the theme of the parental bond between the mother and daughter, smeared in the backdrop of nostalgia and fear. In the nostalgia means that she reminds about the past with a joy. Nostalgia of the past. The nostalgia, you can say, the time that she spent with mother, and fear of the future without her. She was thinking about that how she would live without her mother. The childhood fear of Kamala Das was that she will lose her mother one day. She was fearful that her mother will face the process of life too, that is death, and she was ill, sick, and pale, as she was sick. Next line. But all I said was, see you soon, Amma. All I did was smile and smile and smile. The line shows she is optimist. The line shows that she thinks positive. She was in pain and fear of losing her mother. Kamala Das was feeling pain. She had a fear of losing her mother. But she smiles and looks at her mother to give her ailing mother assurance. Looked at her. She was not crying, but she was smiling to assure her mother that they will meet her soon. It is easily seen that she is trying to hide her real feeling. That's why these two statements were used. I said was, see you soon, Amma. I did was smile and smile and smile. That means it shows that the pain was there, but she was hiding, trying to hide her feeling, her real feeling, her mother, that they both will be able to see each other again. She was saying she was smiling, though she was doubtful about this. It is a poem of separation. Dear children, in the whole poem, you have read one thread. One thread. The poem was written in a one sentence. There is no full stop. It was written in a one sentence. It is a one statement. It is one thread. This poem is on separation. This poem is on death.